Hello, thank you for joining me on a brief walkthrough of how to do your housing application. I am Jesse Oswald, the Director of Residence Life, and I'm going to help get you through the application today. Before we begin the application, though, I want to highlight our Residence Life page on the IWCC website. Here you are going to find some great information about living on campus and answers to almost any question you may have about housing. Definitely take some time to go check it out. Now, before we begin, there are a couple of items I need to go over. First, before you can work on the housing application, you must be accepted to IWCC and you have to have received your ROC login information. If you haven't yet received this information, just be a little patient. It usually comes just a few days after you've been accepted to Iowa Western. The application is also online only, but it can be completed on any device with internet access. Don't forget that there is a $200 security deposit as well. You don't have to pay it right now, but more on this later. So let's get started. And remember, you, the student, need to be the one to complete the application. The first thing you need to do is go to this website, iowawestern.ereslife.com. That is ereslife with a Z. Here you will have a little window pop up asking you to log in. This is where you will put your ROC login information in. If you haven't received this login information yet, you will later on and can complete the application at that time. Sometimes this screen will pop up when you try to log in. If it does, make sure to click on the spot where it says sign in with your school account, just before the large sign in button. Now that you're signed in, the first thing you'll need to do is update your student profile. To do this, go over to My Profile and click on that link. Here you will need to scroll through and make sure all information is correct. If anything needs changed, please make those changes now. Once all changes are made, scroll to the bottom and click Save. From here, you can begin on the housing application. To do this, click on Housing to expand, then Housing Overview. Here you are able to select which housing application you would like to begin. Once you have selected that, click on Apply Now. This will open up your housing application. Here is where you'll answer multiple questions to fill out the housing application. That has a red asterisk is a required question. You do have to complete this question in order to move on. Anything without the red asterisk is optional and not always needed. This first question is asking if I am a new student to living in housing or a returner. Make the best selection for your situation and continue on. Here you are able to make your housing preference. You will have multiple options for different housing facilities. To see what options are available for you, you can click on this link here. This will bring you to the main Iowa Western webpage. Here you can click on the various housing options and see a little bit about them, including floor plans, photos, and some brief descriptions of those facilities. If you're interested in seeing more information about the housing costs, you can click this link here. This will give you the breakdown of the cost of housing facilities and meal plans. Once you know which options you are interested in living in, go through and make those selections. You can rearrange by clicking and dragging on these green arrows. Your top choice will be at the very top of the list, and descending order will be your next options. If you accidentally made a selection that you are not interested in, you can click the red X on the side, and it will delete that option. Residence Life offers a Pride community for members of the LGBTQ community. If you are interested in living in the Pride community, you can request to do so by clicking on Pride Community down here under Community Selection. If you are a member of Potawatomi Promise, you can select that by clicking Potawatomi Promise here. If you are a student athlete, you will want to answer this athlete status question with a yes. If you are not an athlete, select no. If you do select yes, please make sure to indicate which sport you are on. Continuing on, there are multiple questions to help make best assignments. Go through and answer those questions. Again, any question with a red asterisk is required for you to answer. Any question without is entirely optional. You'll eventually reach questions about cleanliness, sleep requirements, interaction and involvement, roommate conflict, and more. When you answer these questions, please do so as accurately as possible. These questions help us make the best housing assignments possible from the beginning. If you do have roommate issues after moving in, Residence Life is here to help, but these questions help make sure that that does not become a problem. If you are under the age of 18, you will need a cosigner. Make sure to find a cosigner who is over the age of 21. That cosigner needs to fill out this section for you. If you are over 18, you can just skip it. Next, you will need to select your meal plan. Residence Life offers two different meal plan options. An unlimited meal plan, where students can come and go from the cafeteria anytime that the cafeteria is open, or a 12 flex meal plan. This meal plan offers 12 meals over the course of a week. Students can eat more than 12 times by paying out of pocket for those additional meals, or if a student eats less than 12 meals in a week, those meals that were not used do not roll over into future weeks. Students can select no meal plan if they reside in the village. This option is only available for village students. If no meal plan is selected and a student is assigned in a building other than the village, the 12 flex plan will be automatically selected for them. Here you will have a few questions that may affect your housing eligibility. Please be sure to answer them honestly. At the bottom of the application, there are a couple of acknowledgements that need to be made. First and foremost, students need to know that their student ID is ultimately their room key as well. It is important to always have the ID on hand at all times. Make sure to click the yes box here. Second, students need to understand that financial aid packages may not cover the entire cost of housing, meal plan, and tuition. If you have questions about your financial aid package, email financial aid at iwcc.edu, and they will gladly try to help answer your questions. Make sure again to click the yes box. Now that you've answered all the questions, you can continue to confirm application. Click here. It looks like I missed a question. ERES will automatically highlight all questions that you haven't answered in red. Go through and make sure to answer those questions. This one that I missed looks like information about my FAFSA. If you haven't filled out your FAFSA or you have questions about your FAFSA, you can click this link here. This will bring you straight to the financial aid webpage to complete the FAFSA or get more information about this. I have completed my FAFSA, so I'm going to click yes. I'm going to scroll all the way back up just to make sure I didn't miss any other questions. It looks like I'm good. In case you click continue and all your answers have been answered, you can try clicking this yellow triangle. That usually pushes you forward. I'm going to scroll all the way back to the bottom and click continue to confirm application. Almost there. Now, we have a couple of checkboxes to look at. This first checkbox has to do with the terms and conditions file. This is the housing contract. Make sure to click this contract file and open it up. When you open up the file, make sure to read through all of the information, as this is important information expected and required of students living in housing. Once you have read through everything, you can go back to the application and check this box. By checking this box, you are agreeing that you have opened, read, and understand the agreement. This is the same as signing your contract. This next checkbox is just stating that you added information that is accurate and truthful to your application. Make sure to check that box. Down here, you have two different bubbles that you can select. You only need to select one. This has to do with paying your housing deposits. Residence Life offers multiple different methods of how to pay your housing deposit. Please select which option you intend to use to make your payment. If you intend to do an online payment, please check this bottom bubble. This will open up a new window and you will be able to pay your deposit right now. If you intend to pay later, you can select any of these options, including online payment, through a link sent to you later. I'm going to select that I have already paid my deposit. Once you have selected all of these options, go down and click Submit Application. Once you submit your application, you should receive a thank you message. This thank you message will also come with a receipt number. Once you have done this, you have answered everything and made all corrections. Some students like to select who their roommate is early on. If you know who your roommate is, you'll want to create a roommate group. To do this, go over to the left side of the screen and click Roommate Groups. To create a new roommate group, select Create New Roommate Group. Here, you will create a roommate group name. Next, you'll be able to input Iowa Western email addresses for your roommates you would like to have. I know I would like Mark Smith to be my roommate. I am going to put in his student email. When I type in his email and click Save, Mark will receive an email automatically stating that I requested to be his roommate. Mark then needs to sign into eRes, click on Roommate Groups, and select which roommate group he wants to be a part of. He can only select one group, and by clicking and changing roommate groups, he is joining one specific roommate group. If Mark does not want to be a part of that roommate group, he just needs to select No Group. Mark knows he wants to be a part of Iowa Western. He is going to select that group. That green check mark indicates that is his selection. Remember, roommate groups are entirely optional. If you want randomly assigned roommates, you can completely skip this step. Now that you've completed a roommate group and the application, you are all finished. You may have had a few questions that weren't answered. To get answers to those questions, send us an email at housing@iwcc.edu and we'll gladly answer those questions. Thank you and good luck on your application.